The judge now preparing to launch an official investigation, which could include officials testifying under oath. He even raises the remarkable prospect of appointing an independent lawyer to prosecute the government for contempt. President Trump has praised the deportations, claiming without evidence the men are violent gang members, inviting El Salvador's president to the White House.
He's done a fantastic job.
But the administration tonight facing mounting questions about the fate of this man, Kilmore Abrego Garcia, last seen head shaved in that Salvadoran prison. Abrego Garcia, an undocumented immigrant from El Salvador, was working and living in Maryland with his American wife and children when he was put on that plane because the government made an administrative error, a mistake they acknowledge. Tonight, Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen traveling to El Salvador looking for any information about Abrego Garcia.
I'm asking President Bukele, under his authority as president of El Salvador, to do the right thing and allow Mr. Abrego Garcia to walk out of a prison, a man who's charged with no crime, convicted of no crime, and who was illegally abducted from the United States.
The Supreme Court has ordered the administration to facilitate Abrego Garcia's return to the United States. But President Trump, who is paying El Salvador $6 million to hold the immigrants, says it's up to that country to send him back.
He is not coming back to our country. President Bukele said he was not sending him back. That's the end of the story. If he wanted to send him back, we would give him a plane ride back. There was no situation ever where he was going to stay in this country. None. None.
The administration insists Abrego Garcia is a violent gang member, but he does not have a criminal record either here or in El Salvador. His family says he fled that country as a teenager in 2011 to escape gang persecution. A judge had ordered that he not be returned to El Salvador because of potential danger. According to court documents, in 2019, a confidential informant named him as a member of the gang MS-13. But a federal judge this month found that evidence unconvincing. Today, the White House noting that in 2021, his wife Jennifer obtained a temporary protective order against him. But that case was later closed, and now Abrego Garcia's wife is on the front lines, pleading for her husband's return.
And Lindsay, tonight, El Salvador's president upping the ante, telling the Trump administration he plans to double the size of that prison in his country that's now holding Abrego Garcia and those other migrants, Lindsay.
Rachel Scott from the White House. Thanks, Rachel. Now to Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's warning about President Trump's sweeping tariff policy. His words sparking losses in the stock markets. The Dow falling nearly 700 points. The S&P 500 down more than 2%. The tech-heavy NASDAQ losing more than 3%. ABC's chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce joins us now. And Mary, it seems Chairman Powell's words were his starkest warning yet.
They certainly were, Lindsay. The Fed Chairman Jerome Powell warning that Trump's tariffs would most likely lead to even higher inflation and slower growth, stressing that the president's tariffs are significantly larger than anticipated and could create a, quote, challenging scenario for the central bank. It comes as the president today met with Japanese negotiators, his first in-person tariff negotiations that we know of. The president tonight saying there was, quote, big progress, but no deals have been made yet with any country. And of course, the trade war with China is only getting worse. Beijing so far showing no willingness to come to the table. Lindsay.
Mary, thank you. Now to the chilling new images of the high school shooting in Dallas. Surveillance shows the gunman firing at random, injuring at least 4 students. And what police say about how the suspect got a gun into the school undetected. ABC's Maria Villarreal is on the scene again in Dallas.
Chilling new video tonight showing that horrific shooting inside a Dallas high school, sending crowds running.
We got an active shooter, Wilmer Hutchins High School.
You see the suspect walking into the packed hallway at Wilmer Hutchins High School, pulling a gun, opening fire indiscriminately. According to an affidavit, at least 4 students shot. The gunman then appearing to take a point-blank shot at a student who was not able to run, court documents say.
Come on, Tracy, you gotta get going.
The suspected shooter, 17-year-old Tracy Haynes, seen here turning himself into police, now facing a charge of aggravated assault mass shooting.
I hear like really loud shots. I see other students running towards the opposite direction.
Officials say the suspect was let into the school through an unsecured door by another student.
We do know that the gun did not come through during regular intake time, so it was not a failure of our staff.
Lindsay, those 4 students that were shot all suffering non-life-threatening injuries, and the suspect is now facing a $600,000 bond. Lindsay?
Maria, thank you. Now to that harrowing flight on board a Frontier Airlines plane from Orlando to San Juan. Passengers looking out the window, frightened by what they saw. The plane making a hard landing, then going around and landing again. ABC's Gio Benitez covers aviation for us.
Tonight, the terrifying moments before this Frontier Airlines jet finally touched down in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Edwin Soto telling us inside the dark cabin, they were praying, calling their families to say goodbye.
It was landing too fast.